Hey there, this is the One Boom, and I've been thinking about claymores in Modern Warfare 2. They were a pretty controversial thing in Modern Warfare 2019, and I think that's for a lot of good reasons and some overstated ones. But in this humorless bore of a video, we're gonna go over all of the things I would personally like to see changed about the claymore in Modern Warfare 2. Because I do think claymores and landmines have a purpose in Call of Duty to secure objectives and to protect valuable positions or to just bamboozle people for fun. Also, without claymores, you couldn't hack a claymore and then have the person who planted it walk into it and blow themselves up. Which, whenever that happens, it provides a month's worth of serotonin for me, and I'm not giving that up. Also, I think these kind of lists are fun because I think too many Call of Duty players get, barred down with the, this shouldn't exist because it's annoying, instead of how could they make it exist in a way that keeps its usefulness but isn't annoying. So I'm trying to come up with the how instead of the why not. So the first big thing about claymores in Modern Warfare 2019 that I think were the biggest mistake is that they're the first lethal you unlock in MW 2019. So out of your first 55 levels, the claymore is the first lethal. I don't remember what level you get it at, but whatever level it is, it's too soon because it's the first lethal. I think if you have 55 levels of unlocks, I think that one of the last 5 levels should give it to you. This would heavily cut down on people using it for the first week, 2, maybe even 3 of the game. This gives people a chance to learn the maps and not rely on claymores as a crutch to watch their back, and people don't have to worry about claymores while they're learning a new landscape. Because any shooter, no matter how complicated the maps are, no matter how campy or fast it is, doesn't matter. Not knowing the landscape is frustrating, and Modern Warfare 2019 players had to deal with claymores being everywhere practically day one. Also, if there's default classes, don't put the claymore in a default class. Let it be a specialty unlock that you have to grind all the way to level 55 to get. Now the next thing, it needs to not be affected by shrapnel. Whatever the shrapnel equivalent perk is, it could be demolition, shrapnel, I don't care. If it gives you 2 lethals, it does not affect claymores, meaning you can only ever hold 1 claymore. Furthermore, if there's a restock perk sort of thing where you get your equipment back every 30-40 seconds, that does not affect claymores either. In fact, I believe claymores should be replenished by absolutely nothing, except maybe ammo boxes, because you gotta think, an ammo box is like a field upgrade if they do it the same way it was in MW 2019. And if it's a field upgrade, you have to wait for it to charge, you place it down, and then you have another explosive hazard in the room you're camping in, which I think is actually great. The more explosive hazards a camper has in the room they're hiding in, the better for an RPG user like myself, who likes to debunk campers, so maybe ammo boxes could give you a claymore. But again, that's a maybe. So then later, don't do the Vanguard thing, and by Vanguard thing I mean add a stupid perk, like the one they have, I think it's called Armory in Vanguard, that completely counters Engineer. So in Vanguard right now, if you run the Armory perk, nobody can see your equipment with Engineer. So don't put that perk in the game. There you go. Why the fuck is that perk in Vanguard anyway? Then, you know how teammates call out like enemy by the buses or by the shipping containers? It's often kind of useless, but I think every time a claymore is in the line of sight of one of your teammates, the teammate AI should call out, there's a claymore on the ground, watch your feet. Just something like that. There's a claymore being put down over there. Simple AI callouts can be really helpful to figure out what's going on in the game, and while some of them are useless, this one wouldn't be. Draws attention to the fact there's a claymore, and everybody's encouraged to listen up and look out. Then, have a perk that delays the fuse like Stalker did in past Call of Duty games, meaning you can run right past the claymore, and instead of you walk in front of it, click boom, you walk in front of it, 1 second, 2 second, click boom. That's the name of the channel. It still goes off. It still gives whoever placed it a little bit of an audible reaction time so they can hear it go off, and it might encourage them to place the claymores farther away from them so that at least they can react to the auditory thing of the explosion, but they don't get a hit marker, they don't kill you with it, and I think that would be important. I don't know why we haven't had perks like that, but delaying the trigger on planted explosives should just be a thing you can do. The next thing I would say is have Flakjack, or whatever the equivalent perk is, hard counter them or cut the damage of them in half. Or remove the movement penalties from them going off in your face. Just have a perk that hard counters the explosion of them. Maybe Flak Jacket blocks 30% of the damage from a frag grenade, but blocks like 60 to 70% of the damage from a claymore. I think it'd be kind of cooler if the claymore was more hard counterable by the flak jacket equivalent perk, meaning it could go off right in your face and you can still potentially win the gunfight with whoever placed it. I think that perk should be in the same category if they're still doing perk categories in Modern Warfare 2. I think the flak jacket and stalker perks should be in the same category so you can't wear both of them at the same time, but this would give you 2 different ways to counter them, which I think would be great. If you had a shotgun and EOD, you could like walk up the staircase, it blows up in your face, they come to check you out, and you fill their mouth with buckshot. You know, who doesn't want to kill a camper with a shotgun? Or with Stalker, just run right past the Claymore, and by the time it explodes, you're already shooting them. That would be great. Now this next one, I thought a little bit out of the box for. The explosion should be mostly directional when it's activated normally, but if you shoot it, the explosion is a more wide AoE, making it more likely to damage whoever placed it. That way, if somebody's being careless and throws an ammo box down next to where they put the Claymore and they're camping up in a room, if you shoot the Claymore, you get a 360-degree boom instead of a directional burst, meaning you have a higher chance of blowing the person up in the room, their ammo box, their deployable cover, their whatever the equipment is in the game, we don't know, but you have a higher chance of damaging the person in the room with the Claymore by shooting their Claymore. Or if the Claymore gets set off by a frag grenade, again, it's essentially 2 radial explosions happening. And yeah, those are everything. Just don't affect it by restock or shrapnel. Don't let people replenish it without an ammo box. Make it one of the last 5 unlocks. Have no perks that counter engineer. Teammate AIs will call out seen Claymores. Have a perk that delays the fuse. Have flak jacket hard counter them or cut their damage in half. And the explosion should be directional and less shot. I think that kind of Claymore would be great. You could still do a long distance sniping playstyle and watch your back, but you don't have 2 Claymores being placed with another one on the way with restock. You don't have Claymores being replenished by scavenger packs. You don't have, you know, extra increased damage Claymores or anything like that. It goes without saying that in a perfect Modern Warfare 2 that we're going to be seeing here, we won't have any danger close style perk that increases the potency of explosives. So hopefully we don't have to deal with that either. I know it's hard for some people to respect a more methodical, campy playstyle, but I do think Claymores are essential for allowing people to feel safe when they want to, again, do long-distance sniping or even more stealth gameplay where they're playing solo and they don't have friends to rely on to cover their backs. You know, I think Claymores have a purpose. I just think their purpose shouldn't be to be a piece of shit with them. There you go. See you when I see you guys. Goodbye.